Alright, so I'm going to talk about the seeds that I've been harvesting lately. I recently harvested a really cool variety of collard. It's called the Old Timely Blue Collard. And I grew this last year, and this is the second year, so it had went to seed, and it was actually pretty nice flower. Actually, let's go look at it, how the plant looks. Okay, so this is the leftover of my Old Timely Blue Collard. And here I have a nice bag of seeds, and I had maybe about 15 of these seeds left. And what I did was, it actually has a few right here. We'll pick these off. Right here we have seed pods, and these are the seed pods. And what they do is when they mature, the seeds actually are inside these, and these dry up and they break open. And what I did was I harvested the whole plant with the seed pods on it, and I had put them out to dry. And as they dried, I grabbed the seeds and I started to smush them to get the seeds out of the pods, break them out of the pods. Alright, see what I'm gonna do is this is the Old Timely Blue Collard harvest, and that's just the beauty of saving seeds. I had 15 of these seeds left, and now I have a nice sized bag of Old Timely Blue Collard seeds. Alright, so this is the mizuna. I harvested my mizuna seeds, and instead of actually eating this crop, I could have, got maybe a good, maybe 6 or 7 meals out of the amount that I grew, because I do eat a lot of greens, and I eat a lot of mizuna at one time. So instead I started to save the seeds, because I have maybe a nice sized container about this big full of mizuna seeds, but just not enough for me. So I had let them go to seed, and I got a nice bag of mizuna seeds here. And they use the same exact method as the collards. They create seed pods, and the seeds are in the pods, and as the pod matures, the pod crack open and the seeds are inside. These are just some butternut squashes that I had saved. I had eaten some organic butternut squash. I had eaten some organic butternut squash, and I figured I'll save the seeds because the squash is so damn good. So probably grow these next year. Didn't get too many seeds, but why not, Here we have some chive seeds. Chives are actually pretty easy to harvest. They just send up a flower shoot, and when the plant dies, you actually just cut back the flower tops and just get the seeds. It's pretty good stuff. See, what I do is I blow it away, and then it just separates the. This is just some raspberry seeds and some poppies given to me by my friend Mark. Very cool variety of poppy. Looking forward to growing that. And this is just a wild raspberry. I just took the seeds out of these for the hell of it. Give it a shot, see if they grow. Maybe throw a handful in the corner of my yard or something. Because these are a wild variety, so they should just take off if I'm lucky. This is pretty interesting. This is 2 varieties of tobacco. I'm not a tobacco smoker, but these were given to me by Joseph Simcox at the Baker Creek store in Connecticut. And yeah, so I have the Sacred Delaware tobacco, Delaware Sacred Tobacco. And it says here it's a tobacco used amongst native peoples of North America. It's a very unique strain. Yeah, really cool. And then this is the Cherokee Ceremonial Tobacco. And very cool the way these set flower. The flowers are very pretty. Too bad I didn't get to film the flowers, because they would have been cool to film, but I didn't. But after the flowers have set and pollinated, they just send up these seed pods. And then in the seed pods, you can see they're just little tiny tobacco seeds. So it's a pretty cool thing to have, I try to keep it diverse. I want to have a very diverse seed library, because even though I don't smoke tobacco, somebody does, and somebody may want to grow their own tobacco instead of supporting these huge tobacco companies. Maybe they want to grow their own, and I have the seeds, and maybe I can make a nice trade with them for something that I can use. Here I have parsnip seeds, and what a harvest did I get from the parsnip seeds. These are a lot of parsnip seeds. It has to be thousands of parsnip seeds here. And they use the same method as dill or carrots. They just send up a flower, and when the flowers are pollinated, they actually just dry and they fall to the ground. But what I did is actually snip the ends before they dried and put them in a container, so when they dry, they don't break off and fall to the soil, and I can actually collect the seeds. So that was actually a pretty fun harvesting the parsnip seeds. Okay, so here I have dill, and this is actually given to me by my neighbor, but they use the same method as the parsnip. And I'm just gonna actually break off one of these and show you what they look like. See that? And the seeds are on the ends. See it? So what you do is you just break the seeds off and you save them. And these are actually used for seasonings. You can go into stores and buy dill seeds and use them as seasonings. Because if you crumble them in your hand, they have a very dill-like, almost, what's that? Minty kind of flavor or smell to it. Very cool. Dill seeds. And you know, my neighbor actually has so much of these, like, it's crazy. We should go over there and I'll show you. But what I'm doing is I'm just gonna break these seeds off. So I'm just gonna rub them off. My neighbor has probably hundreds of these plants, and there's no way he's going to be able to take them all. He rips them up and starts to put them in his compost pile. That's how much he has. So I'm sure I'm gonna have a nice bowl of dill seeds by the end of the season. It's good stuff. Alright, so I'm just hanging out in my neighbor's garden, and this is actually pretty cool. This is kind of off topic, but look at the size of this horseradish. It's like, the root has to be serious. But you come close, you can see this is where I got the dill seeds from, and he has a ton of dill growing. You can see it over here, right next to the squash, zucchini squash, down there, and yeah, he has a ton of dill. So you see the seeds right there. The same method. You just dry these and you grow them. And if you come over here, you'll see a ton more. And then we're at the side of his garage, and you can see all this is dill. Look at that. All this is fresh dill seed. You can just literally take a handful. Fresh dill seeds. You can actually eat these. They're so strong. It's like an herb. Well, I guess dill is considered an herb. But oh my god. Taste some of this. These are so strong. No wonder they use this seasoning. So strong. But yeah, all this is dill. Alright, so this is a really cool tomato. It was given to me by Joseph Simcox, and it's from Brad Gates, a guy named Brad Gates, and it's called the wild bear tomato. Well, he calls it the wild bear tomato, and it's from his anthocyanin collection, as Joseph said. But I believe these aren't really named yet, so that's the cool thing about these. These are a pretty rare variety of tomatoes you really can't find anywhere. And the cool thing, I'm gonna bring this close to you so you can see. And as you can see, the first half of the tomato is purple. That's really rare. I have never seen that before on a tomato. So I'm really excited to save the seed from these tomatoes. Very interesting variety of tomato. The wild bear tomato from Brad Gates' anthocyanin collection. Such big words. Okay, so here we have a really cool variety of cucumber. I have not seen it bear fruit yet, and I'm very excited to see what this fruit looks like because I have no idea. That's the beauty of it. And it was given to me by Joseph Simcox, and I was given 3 seeds. One of them germinated, and this one plant is taking off. It's actually starting to go all the way up here amongst my squash plants, but the leaves are huge. Look at that. I hope this is not a disease. And yeah, it's called a giant hexagon cucumber. I believe it's from India, and I'm really excited to see what this looks like. But it's taking off. I have it grown here in a little container. I'm thinking it might be about 4-gallon container, 5-gallon container. And yeah, I got it grown in some good soil, and it's doing great. It's taking off, and it's starting to climb up all the way up here. So hopefully I can save the seeds from this because this is the only plant I have. So it's my job to preserve this. It's a pretty awesome variety. Let's see what we have here too. And right here, this is called the sockeye melon. Also given to me by Joseph. And I have no idea what this looks like either. This is also from India. And the seeds were so tiny. I was like, there's no way this little thing is gonna produce a melon, but the plant took off. And it's starting to produce flowers, starting to pump out flowers. Have not seen any female flowers yet, so only male flowers. And hopefully I can get the fruit from this and save the seeds, because this is pretty interesting. I still have not seen what the fruit looks like, so I'm really looking forward to seeing that. Here's another cool thing. This is a Denver white, a Cucurbita maxima squash plant. And as you can see, it's climbing all the way up. And this is also given to me by Joseph. And hopefully I can get the seeds from these too. It's right next to the Palau Kadu, which I got from Baker Creek. So yeah, the squash are doing pretty good. I'm looking forward to saving seeds from every one of these squash plants, because I don't have a large collection of squash seeds. So hopefully I will soon. So here I have a North Pole lima bean. This was also given to me by Joseph. It's starting to climb really high. But you can see the bean pods are actually starting to grow. And this is a variety that is white with purple blots of color on it. So very cool. North Pole lima bean. Very looking forward to harvesting the seed from these. And here is a very cool variety of marigold. I actually have it right here. It's from Kilimanjaro. It's a full-size African marigold, and it's the closest to pure white of any marigold varieties. Very cool. So I had a few plants, but this is the plant that has just been thriving. Like, look at this guy. It's huge. And only about 4 or 5 of the flowers have opened up, but there are probably about 20-30 flower shoots on this. So I'm gonna have a ton of seeds. Each flower, when I break it open, actually this one's split open a little bit, you can see inside there is gonna be a ton of seeds. So hopefully I can harvest a ton of seeds from this very beautiful marigold. I hope it doesn't cross with my neighbors, because he's growing a lot of marigold, but we'll see. We'll see by next year's growth. I'm sure they won't all cross. Okay, so yeah, that's just a look at some of the things I'm harvesting. I didn't show you everything, but I'm looking forward to harvesting a lot of more seeds, because that's mostly what I've been growing for, not really to produce. I do like to eat though. I'm trying to build a seed library, a very diverse seed library, so I can have a good amount of seeds for myself and to share with others. So yeah, that's just a look at the things that I'm harvesting, and I'll be harvesting more soon. Thanks for watching.